to discuss. I have some of the information in front of me. I'm gonna read it out loud for all of us, and then you're welcome to contact to Tim Draper directly. And here, how you can do that: www.6californias.com. So why Tim Draper doing this? He endorsing the initiative because it is a way to localize the governance and bring more representation to the local level. I am planning to work to get into the ballot. It will be up to Californians to decide how to govern the 6 new states in California and of course in the United States of America, if it will be approved and would be put on the ballot in November of 2014. Tim Draper planned to create a software platform to use polling and crowdsourcing to have the best governing ideas for each new state to rise to the surface. I know we will be working on the interview and putting on TV through Comcast and local channels here in San Jose and Silicon Valley. If you want to have that video done, you can contact me, olga-show.com, and I will give you a copy of that interview. Meanwhile, let's read what is on the website. So why 6 states? What the mythology rationale have been used to make the dividing lines? What if the counties don't like their chosen state? The initial lines were drawn with population, geographic, and regional consideration. Counties can vote to join another state if they choose. Should we talk about California first?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
So, do you have a history in the school?
We took like a year of California since 4th grade, but we haven't really done much history of California since then.
Okay, here what I can find in initiative measures submitted directly to voters by Tim Draper and his team. Statement of findings. California is the nation's most populous state, nearly 6 times larger than the average population of the 50 states. However, much of the state population is concentrated in certain urban and coastal areas, particularly in Southern California. California is the nation's 3rd largest state by geography, over 2 times larger than the average of the 50 states, with enormous and diverse economies, including agriculture, energy, technology, and entertainment. As a consequence of this and other socio-economic factors, political representation of California's diverse population and economies has rendered the state nearly ungovernable. Additionally, vast parts of our state are poorly served by a representative government dominated by a large number of elected representatives from a small part of our state, both geographically and economically. It is not surprising that efforts to divide the states have been part of its history for over 100 years. In fact, voters overwhelmingly approved the splitting of California into 2 states in 1859, but Congress never acted on that request due to the Civil War. The citizens of the whole state would be better served by 6 smaller state governments, while preserving the historical boundaries of the various counties, cities, and towns. Moreover, the voters in any given county should be permitted to choose a different state than assigned by this law, thereby creating competition in proposed governance, which will lead to better and more responsive governance. The legal processes for division of the state will take time. In the interim, the people desire to empower local governments and lessen the role of Sacramento over every aspect of our lives, to encourage regional cooperation and to begin the process of new state identification. So, when we talk about 6 new states proposed by Tim Draper, we're talking about, let's see, Jefferson State, which is north part of California. Then goes
North California, right under Jefferson. Then Silicon Valley gets its own part. It's for those of us on Ustream, you can see it's the most westerly edge. Then there's Central California, which is where Sacramento and everything is. West California, which is just below Silicon Valley. and west of South California, which is the southern and east part of California right now.
The boundaries of the states are those stated in the Constitution of 1849 as modified pursuant to state changing said boundaries or providing legislative authorization to divide the state into 2 or more new states and providing for such transformation. Sacramento is the capital of California. You can read that in Article 3, Section 2 of Article 3 of the California Constitution. And that can be amended if Tim Draper will find 1 million signatures. So that will take some time, and you're welcome to follow up on this more at 6californias.com. So let's see what Tim Draper has to say. We hope that he will visit us sometime soon in our station and give his own review of his proposition. So California has enormous debts. Who is going to assume the debt? So the states will have a period of a year to negotiate with each other on issues like debt assumption. If they cannot come to terms, the debt will be divided by population. Also, in the new states, Ryan, without the baggage of the old states, will be able to run more efficient operations and eventually get back to solid economic footing. On the question, what about water rights, when there's great confusion there, we have all this problem with
rivers and streams run across multiple states all the time. So I guess this is just going to be kind of a continuation of the old policies that we used to regulate interstate water lines.
And except that it's possible that new states can work together to come up with new concept in water distribution like load balancing and time division rather than just geographical division of water. I expect, as said Tim Draper's, the same to be true of highways and distribution of electricity. Any division of California would be subject to approval by Congress. How would Tim Draper work to ensure success in the District of Columbia? Should be the voters in California ratify it, and of course if the voters approve it, was his answer, there will be momentum for passage in Washington DC. And of course Tim Draper want to support and encourage the citizen activism. A field poll this month showed relatively low support of splitting California. So then the question was why Tim Draper thinks that it will succeed. The field poll only tested Jefferson's separation from California. We're talking about northern part of California.
Jefferson is the northest part of this map.
The initiative offers all Californians a choice for better local representation and better federal representation in the Senate. So we have 38 million Californians. Won't be a big change for them, was the question. Which Tim Draper response was change will occur gradually. Initially it will be the same. And over time Californians will benefit from 6 fresh starts with the high likelihood of better government services and a platform for prosperity. Initiative campaigns in California always cost millions of dollars. Who would finance this endeavor? Tim Draper said that he is working on it and hoping to get a lot of signatures through word of mouth. And that would be good grassroots support. We're talking about 1 million signatures need to be given. And now, how do the everyday needs of 38 million Californians get resolved by this? That this create haves and have-nots? And response for that was the real question is for the status quo. Why is there such a discrepancy between haves and have-nots? Why is the government service better for some than for others? The status quo isn't working for 38 million Californians. The status quo give us both economic and political haves and have-nots. I believe that more local government is better. Sacramento has untenable job trying to match the needs of 38 million people with their policies. If it doesn't, and it doesn't seem to work. The needs in Central California are so different from the needs in coastal California and different from the needs of Silicon Valley and Jefferson. Both South California and Jefferson have movements to disassociate themselves from the state. Why not move government closer to the people and raise our voice in the Senate? Why not let voters choose if they are content with the way they are currently represented? And Tim Draper said the new platforms will be laid for future prosperity and that more local government and better efficiency in government will benefit all Californians. And hopefully each of the governments will learn from the improvements of the others. It is likely that more local decision making will benefit schools, universities, health and social services, and infrastructure. Governments will be closer to their customers because they would be split to the states, 6 states, accordingly what they are doing there. If it's Silicon Valley, then we have a lot of Silicon Valley startups. If it's Southern California, then they have lots of issues with immigration. Well, Silicon Valley will also have immigration issues like workers, but it's a little bit slightly different. Central California, West California, definitely, I don't know if they have that many startups as we do.
But I think Central California would mostly be agricultural stuff like Sacramento.
Right, and problem with water even more than what we have.
Yeah, because they need a lot of water for field and agriculture and stuff.
And so if you want to know more about this, please check it out, 6californias.com, 6californias.com, and you will find more information about each and every proposed state division, which came from Tim Draper. And if somebody wants to see the interview, then you please contact to us, or you have to go to creatv.org and check the video provided there and my interview, which is also under Olga show. And perhaps that would be available for others to see as well starting next week. So I have show on TV, which is Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Tuesday in English, Thursday in Russian. And I know a lot of people learning Russian, but not to worry, because that interview was in English. So what will happen with this proposition? We don't know. Until then, Tim Draper trying to get 1 million signatures. So you have been listening Olga show, and we're coming back live on air after a commercial break. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to everyone, and wish you happy New Year and happy holiday season. I know we happy to have you all with us. And you can find more information olga-show.com. That's where our programs are. And also, of course, U923 FM. That's where all of the information you can find and listen us live every Saturday night. You can also call us at 408-912-5265, 408-912-5265. That's how you can ask your questions directly. You can also find us at Olga Show Skype. Olga Show Skype, that's when you can call me and text.
Thank you for listening
So,
to